Yarny friends, I'm Sara Sach. I am a cool crocheter. Are you? Well, this is better. Those are some dark glasses. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to another edition of This or That. And what this or that is I usually ask you a question having to do with crochet or yarn or crafts or beads or you know, your likes or dislikes when it comes to crafts and crochet. And then I give you, of course, the opportunity down in the comments to leave a comment. And remember, there are no wrong answers. We all have different opinions when it comes to crochet and crafts, and that's okay. And the reason I love doing this is because I absolutely love to read your comments. I love to hear what you have to say, and that's why I really encourage you to comment. Because I can learn from you, you can learn from me, and we can all learn from each other. All right, let's get to today's subject, and that is, are you a cool crocheter? All right, so let's find out how cool you are. So I read this the other day on, I think maybe Facebook or Pinterest, and this is what it says. People who start crochet projects and never finish them are way cooler than people who never start crochet projects. So how cool are you? I'm pretty cool. Today what I wanted to do is just talk a little bit about some crochet slang. And the reason is I got a question about, probably a month or so ago. I'm going to take these glasses off. They're pinching my head. All right, so I got a question a few months ago. What does it mean, frogging? And then another one was, what are whips? And then another one came in and said, what's FOTH? And so I thought we would have a little bit of fun and talk a little bit about crochet slang because we're super cool. So the first one we're going to talk about is, what does it mean when someone said they had to frog their project or frogging? And really it just means they had to rip it out, because rip it, rip it, rip it sounds like what a frog says. So when we're frustrated, we stitched it wrong, and we have to pull the whole project down to a few rows down here where I did stitch it right. That's called frogging. So the next one that I get all the time is, what is yarn barf? Why do people use that term? Well, what it has to do with is you're trying to find the starting tail of your yarn, and you pull it out and the center of the yarn comes out. Then you try again and the center comes out, and you still have never found that end. And then you finally do, and then you have all this yarn that you have to deal with. And so we call that yarn barf. So those are a couple of them that we deal with sometimes. Frogging, having to pull out a project because we made a mistake a few rows down. And when we go to find the center of our yarn and the whole thing comes out and barfs on us. At least it's not really bad to clean up. And it doesn't smell like barf. And those are just a couple of terms. Okay, a few more. One of them is UFOs. Have you seen a UFO? I have. Unfinished objects. And then, of course, we have FO, which is finished objects. So when you finish that UFO, it becomes an FO. Another one is called whips, and there's a friend of mine who has, she used to, I don't know if she still does, had a Facebook page called Whips and Chains, and she said she was going to change the name because it just had a bad connotation, you know. But of course we know what chains are, and whips are works in progress, and it's kind of the same thing as the UFO. Just another different slang term. And then we have HOTH or FOTH. And HOTH is hot off the hook. And FOTH is fresh off the hook, which they both literally mean the same thing. And so these are some fun crochet terms. And I know there's a whole lot of them, but these are just the ones I was asked about. And it's really fun if you go on Pinterest and put in crochet slang. A lot of really funny things come up. And I think it's fun sometimes to just not be so serious and have a little bit of fun with our craft, because it can be a little frustrating sometimes if you get yarn barf or if you have to rip it out and you're like, oh man, I got to rip this down back down to row 5 and I'm on row 32. And you know, sometimes I don't. You know, that mistake is part of the project now. I meant for it to be there. And those things happen, okay? And what I'm trying to say today by this is that sometimes we just need to be a little bit silly and have just a little bit fun, and don't be so serious all the time. I mean, I am very serious about my craft. I really, really am. And that's kind of the question I want to ask you today. Are you cool like me and don't always finish your projects? Or are you someone who always finishes those projects? I have over here, it is a big basket. It's actually one of those Proverbs 31, I think it's called, bags. And I had it embroidered. It says Posh, Pooch on the side. It's huge. It's a big rectangle, and it is filled with unfinished projects. And a lot of times what happens is I get this magnificent idea and I think I have the exact yarn to do it. And then I'm working along and I'm like, yeah, this is not working. And so I'll stop and I'll set it aside, and I might choose a different yarn or a different stitch. And then I don't ever go back to that. Well, one thing that I do is every now and then I'll take an afternoon and I'll go through that bag. Okay, so it's been since January. And so since it's been since January, it's really time for me to get in that basket and pull out all those unfinished projects and roll them into cakes or balls. It's time. Because there is a lot of really nice yarn in there, you know? And my theory is this: no yarns will be left behind. All right, so let's bottom line the question. Are you a cool crocheter like me? I hope you sure are. I bet you are. And that's all I've got for you today. I just wanted to put out something fun and lighthearted and maybe make us laugh a little bit, because things are getting pretty heavy out there. School started, the holidays are coming around the corner, and lots of other things. So hang in there and smile and have a joyful day. See you next time for another edition of This or That or the Other Thing. Bye-bye now.